Hi beautiful people, welcome back to the channel, Shantia's new chapter. So today I have in store for you guys a special topic. We are going to be discussing, we are going to be discussing how to make your life so much easier. So what I'm learning and what I'm starting to tap into is understanding the value of my intuition to guide me. So I want to share with you guys like my experience with trusting myself in terms of making the necessary moves. I feel like this is kind of a topic that I weave into every episode, but I really wanted to put the emphasis on this because I was sitting down and I was just having all of these downloads coming through, all of these ideas, and I realized, bam, I had been seeing things, I don't want to say wrong because I don't feel like there's a right way or wrong way, but I was basically making my life so much more difficult by complicating it. So you know how so much of us, we have so many goals, we have so many desires we want to obtain for ourselves. And I think that's perfectly fine. I think it's perfectly fine to be ambitious. I think it's perfectly fine to be half ambitious. Like if you're not a super ambitious person, bless you, because a lot of us we're like pedaling on this bike. We're trying to race, run the rat race of life, and we're trying to get somewhere to do something. And the irony is you don't need to go anywhere. I was sitting down the other night and I was journaling and I was just getting so excited and I was feeling so passionate about my topic and essentially what I'm talking about today and we'll be discussing further. And I realized there's nothing I'm having to do. I'm not like in front of a huge audience. I'm not like racking in the dollars. There's nothing special happening here. I'm just sitting with myself, journaling, and I'm having the best time doing it. And y'all know, I work very much in tune with my guides. I very much prayer all the time. And I just felt it. They're like, you're home. That's it. When I experienced my first spiritual awakening, my first stage, I don't really know what to call it. Like, to me, labels don't really matter. I just throw a label on it just so you guys can understand. When I had my first spiritual awakening, something unlocked inside of me. And it was something like, it was my heart. I could feel it. It just connected. I felt it. Everything just aligned within me. And I realized since then, any person who's experienced a spiritual awakening, it's like a high like no other. But then there's like this crash that happens when reality hits because you're like, whoa, there was something that helped to create that accumulated experience of like this ultimate supreme peace within ourselves. And then the real world happened. We were brought back into reality. And suddenly we're wondering, how do I get back to that experience? And the thing is, it's that search that can be so restless and so uncomfortable. It's like trying to get back to that feeling. The irony is you don't have to go anywhere, right? We've all seen The Wizard of Oz, or heard of The Wizard of Oz, most of us at this point. There's no place like home, Dorothy. There's no place like home. You don't need to go anywhere to do anything. You always had the red shoes to get to where you needed to go. To me, it's always about the heart. This is key. To me, tapping into and finding out what it is I'm here to do, what it is that feels good for me. When I just take a moment to sit, pause, and just feel it, and feel its life force pumping through me, I feel fulfilled already. It's here in my body. It's a working, multi-layered machine, and it's already here with me. In connection with this and in connection with making decisions and choices for whatever you're trying to do in your life, you're trying to maybe manifest, whether it's connections, your dream job, more money, more income, your dream home, whatever it is you're trying to bring more of in your life. It's all connected to that heart source and tapping into that effortlessly. So at the end of this video, I'll give you guys some homework to do so that you can practice getting tapped into your heart source. I've essentially talked about it on this channel all the time. There's free knowledge everywhere. There is free knowledge everywhere, and we don't take advantage of it. Do you know why? It's not because we're being stubborn. It's because we're unaware. It's already here. Life is essentially a mirror. Everything that we do, everything that we experience, it's a mirror for us to experience ourselves. Everything, our job, here we are, we're keeping track and we're keeping points, and the way I'm just structuring the sentence is making me crack up. We track our lives, we track our progress, and we're like, oh yay, more views, more money, more something. I met a goal, progress. But it has nothing to do with fulfillment. So that's why it's the more you try to seek fulfillment outside of yourself, the less fulfilled you're going to be. Period. Unfortunately. Because fulfillment has nothing to do with anything outside of you. Everything's just the mirror. Even at seeking the dream job, you don't even need to seek the dream job. You are the dream job. So this is what I've come to understand. You're the dream job. You're the dream. Your ideas, what you desire, what you want to create, it's already there in you. Your brilliant ideas are already there cooking up inside of you. You've had them forever. Maybe you've just hesitated to take action on it because you keep fighting with yourself. You don't fight with anyone else. We think we're fighting the world, the Democrats, the Republicans, politics. We're fighting against this person's philosophy, this person's religion, when it has nothing to do with what you're here to do. You're fighting against yourself. Everything is a fight with yourself. That's why it doesn't feel good to put someone down, because you're fighting against yourself. So all of that clicked with me, and I was just like, dang, whoa. And that was a huge download. I'm like, damn, I'm fighting with myself. Every time I tell myself, I'm comparing myself to someone else, and I'm like, oh, what am I doing wrong? And I don't feel good when I compare myself and I put myself down. I'm like, oh, I'm fighting with myself. I'm telling myself I'm not good enough again and again and again and again and again. And that's why it doesn't feel good. And I felt my guides were just like, yeah, we know, we've been trying to tell you this. You've been good enough since day one, since the day you breathed your first breath on this planet, you are already good enough. And we've been trying to get you back to that and understanding that. That's why for me, seeking, trying out, and I'm trying to obtain goals, I would reach progress, and then I would just feel so unsatisfied because I'm like, wait, what was I doing this again for? Why am I unhappy? What's going on? Because I was still seeking validation outside of myself. Instead of saying, wow, that was such a good experience that I got to mirror back to myself, that had everything to do with me bringing energy to it. It's because I brought my life force and my energy to the experience, that's what made it exciting and valuable. Because I brought my energy to that relationship, that's what made that relationship valuable. So that's why we're always fighting. We're like, oh my gosh, you're not doing enough in this relationship. This isn't enough. That's not enough. Because all of that complaining is just you fighting with yourself. Okay? Now that we've established that, as far as achieving your goals and what you're trying to do and what you want to create for yourself, there are a lot of people, there's so many philosophies. I'm not a big self-help book fan. I'm actually huge with YouTube, love YouTube. I'm not a big on self-help books. I did my self-help book thing back when I was having my spiritual awakening. I was like, ooh, I need to read. I need to keep learning. And it was great. It's great to have the knowledge, because what those ascended masters, those teachers taught me in those books was the language for what I was experiencing. But they didn't really teach me anything I didn't already know. And honestly, there's not really a lot that I need to know. And I really feel that way. I'm just when I jump into things, I don't really care to read. It might be messed up to say the fine print, but you should read the fine print when you're signing contracts. But I'm not concerned about knowing all the details about how everything's supposed to unfold. I'm here to be in the present moment. That's where my success is born. It's born in the moment. So when I jump into things, I'm just like, yes, it happens. When I just say yes in that moment, it happens. So this is what it really comes down to. Let's say you're trying to build a business, you're trying to manifest a partner, you're trying to manifest your dream apartment, you're trying to manifest your dream job. There are no rules. There are a million videos about how to manifest this, how to manifest that. And I'm like, they're all confusing to me because none of them are for, I wouldn't say that none of them are for me, but none of them really matter. If it aligns with you, it aligns with you. Those videos, and this video too, is here to reflect to you what you already know. And just to confirm, everything is a confirmation. Everything that we're experiencing in this world is a confirmation. So when we're looking to our parents and we're saying, oh, I don't feel loved, you're already confirming with yourself, you don't love yourself. You look to your grades and you're saying, I'm not smart enough. Well, that's because you're confirming to yourself, you don't feel like you're smart enough. None of this is a marker for a reality of like what you're capable of. There isn't a cap. There's no such thing. There's no cap for, oh, this is how we measure your excellence. This is how we measure your greatness. You can't measure excellence and you can't measure greatness, but you can feel it, right? You can feel it, but you can't measure it because it turns up in so many different flavors. So ultimately what it comes down to is like, what do you want? If you say, I get to work 5 hours a day, and working 5 hours a day, 5 days a week is going to get me the success that I want, then it's going to get you the success that you want. You know what's funny about me? I've been like borrowing books for years. I'll borrow a book, I'll put it on my shelf, and I don't know what happens, but I'll keep that book on like my shelf and I won't even read it. But I'll find the answer somewhere else, like that I was seeking in that book somewhere else. So essentially what I started to understand that me borrowing books from the library was me setting the intention for what answer I was calling into my life. And so honestly, I don't really need to keep borrowing books to get answers. I just need to set intentions and be like, universe, help me. And quite frankly, I've learned to tap into my intuition to the point where I could get the answer right now. As far as applying the answer, the knowledge to gain the wisdom through experience, that takes time depending on how much focused intention and attention you put into it. I wanted to say experience again, but I'm like, that's such a repetitive word for me. It's my favorite word, I guess. So you have to decide, what do you want? What do you want the experience to feel like? What feels like an opening experience to you? I'm actually a little bit of a natural workaholic, not because like we have all these philosophies about like work culture, hustle culture, but I'm like, actually, it's not that I'm trying to hustle. I'm just creative as hell. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I just have so many ideas coming through to me. I can't help it. It's like overflowing all the time. And it's not like I'm working myself to death. I'm like, I try to do it when I feel good. And sometimes I do it when I'm feeling tired, but I'm like, I don't know, I'm still inspired. I can't stop being inspired. I can't turn it off sometimes. And it was so interesting because I was watching Jeffree Star. What I've always had so much respect for, in spite of the drama and whatnot, is his work ethic. It comes from a pure creative place. Some of it is him needing to validate himself, for sure, but it comes from a pure inspirational place. Like, he just loves it so much. And I'm like, I feel the same way. I love communication so much. I have so many different ideas that I'm so happy to create one video and then another video and then another video. And then editing can be kind of a pain in the butt, but by the time I upload it, I'm just so proud of me putting out this baby into the world. I don't care. So it's like, what flow, what rhythm works for you? I like listening to channeled collective messages. I like listening to pick a card readings about like what's going on here. But ultimately, I get amnesia. I forget about all of that. And I just decide in the moment, what do I want? Every day I have to ask myself, what am I feeling called to do? Because there's changes all the time, cycles and seasons. You are always on your own cycle. You're in your own season in spite of the seasons that are happening here. So part of what creates a lot of resistance in us is we're trying to take and adhere to someone else's advice, You know, I love teachers, but I can't follow a teacher for very long. Like, I'll follow a teacher, I'll listen to their advice, and then I'll click out. Because I realize I got everything that I needed to for this season. Now I need to go merge what I've learned with myself and apply my own approach to that experience. So I have to merge, you know, my energy, my downloads, and the information from the teacher to create this like whole unique experience customized for me. That's the secret, guys. So when it comes to building your business, when it comes to manifesting anything that you want in life, it goes according to your own rhythm. The secret is to know your own rhythm. If you want to be a workaholic but it feels fulfilling and you feel great and you got a lot of energy and you are making sure to eat right, sleep right, then do that. Some seasons we're called to work. I'm not going to lie, I am going through my Saturn return, so maybe that's why it's moving through me the way it is. Some seasons we are called to work, some seasons we are called to rest. We just need to listen to what season works for us. So really adhere to, and this is like my main message for everything that I do. Listen to your heart, listen to your intuition. Adhere to what you want. Customize the experience to what you want so that it becomes fun. You want to work 50 hours a week because that feels fulfilling to you? That's up to you. Forget about what other people have to say about what's right, what's wrong. The most ingenious, successful people, they make their own rules. They make their own rules. Make your own rules. Create your own dream life. Schedule it. I wrote on my vision board the kind of schedule, the kind of work hours I wanted. But at that time, I'm going to have to redo it because at the time I put kind of what I thought would be good, right? You know, I like the idea of someone saying, oh, I only worked 3 hours today and I made $10,000 this week. I'm like, oh, that sounds nice. That sounds really cool. But I'm like, actually, I like working. I like working like 12-hour days and then the next day 2 hours. Like it's not a specific, it doesn't have to look a specific way. You know, this idea of like, well, you're a genius and you're a millionaire if you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I do not wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, and absolutely not. In fact, I'm a crazy night owl. I'm a crazy night owl. I will stay up to 5 o'clock in the morning, which I did the other night. But I will like feel good about it. It's just weird. It depends on you. It goes according to your rhythm, your season. I should probably move according more to the, you know, the sun and the sun and the moonlight, but I don't punish myself. And that's the thing. Don't punish yourself for how you think you're supposed to be living your life. Oh, well, this person so-and-so said this, so maybe I need to do that. Listen to your intuition. What do you need to do? Do you want to work 5 hours, 10 hours, 2 hours, 5 minutes? People who stay true to their desires get what they want. But you got to know what you want. You have to get comfortable with identifying what you want. Do it in your imagination. Ooh, I get to have whatever I want. I get to work 10-hour days, 13-hour days, and then a 2-hour day, and it feels good to me. But I wrote it on my vision board and it essentially came true. I was like, oh, I want to have more free time to do a lot more creative projects like this that I'm passionate about, and working on my communication and having fun with this experience. And it's just unlocked so much. More than anything, it's unlocked fulfillment because it's helped me to tap into feeling good in my body. That's why I do it. I'm like, it feels good, but really I can just sit and feel good. You got to get familiar with the feeling in your body, the feel good. What feels good? The good vibes here. What feels good to you? So please release all these ideologies about, or, attachments to what you think you're supposed to be doing to create success. So many women question their intuition, yet you guys are the most intuitive people out there. Y'all are the most intuitive people out there, and y'all question your intuition the most, which is just crazy to me. It's crazy. Get back to yourself. Homecoming. Get back to yourself. Get back to listening to your intuition. Practice it. Practice it. You know, I do tarot readings for people, and it's fun. I'm open to like tapping into that magic. The reason why I like doing it is I like pictures. I like using my hands. I like talking, and I like downloading information from the divine because I'm all about the bigger picture. I'm all about helping people tap into your purpose, your experience here on earth, and feeling alive. I'm here to remind you how to feel alive in yourself and to remember that you're a soul experiencing a human body as well. And I like that. That's fun. But ultimately, I'm here to teach you how to trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. It's a muscle. So your homework is going to be to trust yourself. The end. Just kidding. So your homework is to, you need to really get into that feel good vibe and be like, what is going to feel good for me to create for myself? Dream life, dream experience, relationships, theater. What do I want? What is my dream work day, work week? What does that look like, feel like, smell like, taste like? All of it. Identify what those dream daily experiences are going to be like for you, because you already know. I'm lazy. That feels bad to promote myself that way, and people who see how often I post wouldn't say I'm lazy at all. But I'm guys, I can be lazy. Okay, I can be really lazy and just not want to do anything. But that's because I do things like working for 6 or 7, 8 hours straight, just making videos and editing. And then I'm just okay, I don't want to do anything right now. I don't want to do anything right now. And I'm just unapologetic about it. I stopped apologizing for wanting what I wanted. I stopped doing that. And I'm going to even further dedicate myself to stop apologizing for this workaholic mentality. I'm damn, I like working. I don't care. You can work less and manifest it, because we talk about femininity. That's why this is important here. Because we talk about femininity and how magnetic it is. But femininity, ultimately, it's your energy, right? You're the energy magnet. And when are you the most magnetic? Is when you're happy and content and fulfilled. So you can become more magnetic even if you are kind of a so-called workaholic according to other people's standards. But for you, it feels good. Who cares what other people are doing? Who cares? They're doing what they need to do. You do what you need to do and listen to your rhythm, your season, your cycle. And trust it. It's all about trusting that feeling. Sometimes I'm tapped into it and sometimes I forget. I was just today we are going to focus on homecoming. I need to come back to myself and realizing why am I here? What am I doing? What's important for me right now? What am I trying to offer to you? What am I trying to offer to you? What am I trying to help you align with here? What's the mission? The mission is help you to tap into your intuition. Trust yourself. There are no rules. There are no instructions. There are no, everyone has a million ways to manifest. Honestly, when you get quiet and you just listen to yourself, you realize you already know. You know how to manifest. You know how to get what you want. Stop looking to other people to compare yourself and think, well, maybe I don't know what I'm doing, right? That self-doubt can be a real, it can cut the progress, it can cut the momentum, but then you can repair it, you can rebuild it again. Everything is undoable. Everything is fixable, it's manageable. Every moment is an opportunity to change what is not working for you into something that is working for you. That's the point. And I'm when I sit quiet, I was just sitting, as I was sitting yesterday, I was getting an insane amount of downloads. I was working on a drawing for my art students. And I was just listening to music and I could not stop getting ideas. I was just but I hadn't sat in that silence for a long time. Sometimes I just play videos YouTube where I'm learning something, absorbing information in the background while I'm drawing. But then I just shut it off and I put music on. I was just oh my gosh, I can hear all the messages coming through. So give yourself some silence. Your homework is at least 10 minutes of silence. Write down what you want. No rules. There are no rules. The people who get what they want, they do not follow rules. There are laws. Yes, you can't just speed past a red light, but there are no rules. Those who are truly successful, they make it up. They make their own rules. And if anything, if you're going to make a rule book, or a list of rules, it should be, the first rule, number one rule should be, I get to have what I want. Rule number 2, I get to be happy. Rule number 3, I get to be fulfilled. Rule number 4, I get to live my dream life. Create new rules. Bam. And adhere to those rules and live it like it's a religion or something. I don't know, something serious and intense, and an intense commitment, and commit to your dreams and commit to your desires and commit to the rules that you've created for yourself. So that was the huge download that I got the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just a natural like workaholic at times, and it feels good for me. And like when I'm watching other people work on their passions, I love it. Like I feel so inspired. I'm like, oh, I want to get and start working now too. It doesn't feel like it's draining my life force. It doesn't feel like it's distracting me. It doesn't feel like I'm suddenly out of tune with myself. It feels like I'm in the flow. I'm in the flow with my own rhythm. I need to stop resisting it. So when you do this, all those blockages that were surrounding your abundance can be cleared out. Your perception affects everything. When you perceive yourself to not be good enough, when you perceive yourself to be the conflict to the things in your life, well, everything's going to be a conflict now. Just say it gets to happen. Just say I get to work hard and I get to get the outcome. Just say I get to work a couple hours and I get to get the outcome that I want. Because this is what's fun for me, and the universe rewards me for me living in a state of high fulfillment, love and desire. Is that the words I was looking for? I guess so. The universe rewards you for knowing yourself. So I feel like it's just time to end all judgment. I'm just declaring to end all judgment towards other people and their lifestyles and how they want to live their life. I'm like, go do you, okay? Go do you, what feels good for you. I feel like that has always been my intention. My message was to offer people that experience. But now that I'm in this place where I'm creating something new, I had to really reassess. And I'm like, I do know myself and I do know what works. When I trust it, doors just open. And then the minute I start to second guess myself and I'm like, wait, am I doing it right? Should I do it this way or that way? Now everything just starts to slow down. And then I second guess and the inspiration gets cut short. And I'm like, no, that is not what I want to experience right now. I want to experience overflow, overpour of love and passion with my life. And yeah, I had to have those 2 clear messages. I'm fighting with myself. 2, I get to have whatever I want. I get to follow my own rhythm. What's your rhythm? All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, guys. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe to support the channel. Comment down below to share your story, your experience, what you thought about this video. I'll see you guys next time for another video. Check out my other channel. Check out my other videos. Have a beautiful day or evening.